This is KTVO's Good Morning Heartland.
And welcome back. With the holidays here and holiday gatherings, we thought it would be a good idea to learn how to do the Heimlich Maneuver and how to perform CPR in case of an emergency. And this morning we have Troy Mihalovich from Adair County Ambulance District here this morning to walk us through the proper steps. How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I thought, with a lot of people going to different holiday gatherings and eating and talking, in case of emergency arises, as in somebody choking or passing out, hopefully somebody inside the room will know what to do.
Right.
So let's go ahead and talk about the Heimlich Maneuver, because I feel like that's something that even little kids are starting to learn at a young age. So do you want to talk about that?
Yes, absolutely. Well, the first thing we would need to do is ensure that an individual is in fact choking.
Okay.
So if they're not truly choking, then us intervening can actually cause more harm than good at that point.
Interesting.
What that means is if they're able to cough, to speak, to move any air, then they're not truly choking. So we just kind of want to let that resolve itself.
Okay.
And it typically will. As human beings, we don't want to choke, so we're going to correct that. On our own, the problem is when we have a complete foreign body airway obstruction. Something has blocked the airway entirely. That's when we have to intervene and correct that, or they're going to go unresponsive and ultimately could lead into cardiac arrest and eventually death. So what we would do is between the belly button and the bottom of the breastbone, we would just form a fist with usually our dominant hand and place that right between those two locations and then cup it with the other hand.
Okay.
And then you're going to do a forceful inward and upward thrust and hopefully project that foreign body from the airway and clear the airway.
Okay.
So,
now with body types, like Scott is bigger than me, and say he was choking and I was going to do the Heimlich, would I be able to do that on him, or does it have to be a bigger person, bigger than him? No,
you would. Yeah, you just need to be able to forcefully inward and upwardly. You're basically causing the diaphragm to eject the air in the lungs and get rid of that foreign body. So
as long as you're about that high, your fist can get about that high and pull up in and up.
Yeah, and worst case scenario, if the person is too big for you to perform that maneuver on, you can lie them on their back and do abdominal thrusts in that fashion.
Oh, okay.
So ideally you want them upright, but if you can't accomplish it in that position, then you would need to adapt and just put them on their back and do some abdominal thrusts in that fashion. So
now let's go ahead and talk about CPR. So let's go ahead. I know that over the years, steps have changed, procedures have changed. So let's go ahead and talk about the proper way to administer CPR on somebody.
Okay. So again, the situation would present itself.
We'll let Scott do it. So you walk him
I'll just walk you through it. So you have an individual that is collapsed in front of you. This could be at your local retail outlet, wherever that may be, or out into the community anywhere really, and the person would collapse in front of you and you would need to assess the situation.
Okay. So you want to make sure they're actually choking and by trying to get a response out of them, or if they're unconscious. So you want to check with them, right?
Yeah, and remember we're talking CPR in this scenario, not necessarily a choking situation or a foreign body. So the first thing you want to do is kind of shake them and make sure that they are truly unconscious.
Not responding.
And once you determine that they are unconscious, designate someone to call 911 and someone to get an AED.
Okay.
And in several locations throughout Northeast Missouri, we do now have AEDs available.
You said 80?
Yeah, we just placed our 80th AED, in the Northeast Missouri area, and we're
fantastic.
very fortunate to have that many devices out there. So. Chances are there may be one available where you are. And then so once you access the system, 911, and you access an AED if it's available, now you need to assess your victim. So the only thing you really want to assess is, are there any signs of life and does it look like they are breathing? It used to be an ABC sequence, now it's a CAB sequence. Because what we used to do, especially the layperson, the civilian, would get caught up in assessing the airway and trying to open the airway and ventilate the patient, and we would lose a lot of critical time because the really important thing is compressions.
Right.
We've got to start those compressions and get that blood circulating. So very quickly look at your victim, scan the body. Are there any signs of life, and does it look like there are any signs that they're breathing? If the answer to those questions is no, check a pulse at the carotid artery.
Nothing.
No pulse, start compressions. So you would find the nipple line, which
Okay.
is the correct location for your hands
Okay.
when you're doing compressions, and right in the center of the breastbone.
Okay, is there any certain hand? Because I've always been told, like, go like, one hand over the other and just...
Right, yeah, just whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay.
Now, what type of pressure are you going to want to put on
On
them?
an adult, it's about 1.5 to 2 inches.
Okay.
And you want to compress at a rate of about, actually, at least 100 per minute.
Okay.
So you're compressing very quickly and very aggressively.
Okay.
And so, and we want to maintain that. The critical time period is the first 3 to 5 minutes. So
Okay.
the layperson CPR, we just can't get that word out enough how important that is. That an individual recognizes someone in cardiac arrest, and that they initiate CPR and use an AED if it's available. Because the fact of the matter is, the ambulance, we just simply can't get there fast enough in most cases. So we can continue the care if hopefully we have a successful resuscitation. But as far as that initial 3 to 5 minutes, which is the critical time, good CPR, effective CPR, and AED is really what saves people's lives.
Perfect. And we are running out of time, and we do apologize. We will post all of this on our website at heartlandconnection.com. But really quickly, I wanted for you to talk about this, because a lot of people might be a little hesitant to do CPR on a stranger. They don't know them. So what is this that you have?
These are just, there's several different devices that are available. This is just what's called an AMBU rescue key. And so it's something that you can put on your keychain. And within this packet, there's a little face shield that you can put on a victim of sudden cardiac arrest that would allow you to do ventilations without, having that concern of contamination. So
Fantastic.
Look at that. Thinking of
thank
everything
you
now.
so much, Troy, for coming on. What we'll do is, again, we'll post everything on our website at heartlandconnection.com, and we'll link up ACAD's information as well, because we always want everybody to be extra safe and to call the experts in case of an emergency. And we'll be right back.